Good afternoon. MFT Overview, Family Therapy, History, Theory, and Practice, the Gladding Text, Chapter 11, Working with Single Families, headed by either a mother, father, or sole parent, sometimes a grandparent. The designation includes those families created by divorce, death, abandonment, unwed pregnancy, adoption, fostered. It is a trend: 20% of white births, 37% of Hispanic births, 67% of black births, as of the date of this text. Always with statistics, realize that those things are subject to change. Types of single parents as a result of a divorce, ranging from infidelity to incompatibility and other things. Divorce does not end family life. It does not end parenting or parenthood of the initial children. 2 of every 3 divorces are now initiated by women. The stressors typically include financial resources and social networks. During the first 3 years, the stresses are greater. Look at the research by Carter and McGoldrick. Single parents, as a result of death, the death ends a life, not necessarily the relationship, and the time of mourning cannot be forced. The stages of grief are linear when they're taught, but they're not linear as they apply to real people in real family situations. And the family's development in 3 stages is shown on page, let's see where this page, table 11.2, which is on page 269, mourning, readjustment, renewal, and reaccomplishment. That is not true for every family, and it depends on what kind of relationship was involved prior to the death. Sometimes the last stage may or may not be achieved, resulting in new collective and individual identities and relationships, and the impact that it has on children, as well as financial issues. Single parenthood by intent. Intentionality, purposefulness in conceiving a child out of wedlock, deciding to carry a child to term after accidental pregnancy, adopting a child as a single adult. Looking at page 268 on table 11.1, dislocations of family cycles, and it talks about the divorce, the decision to divorce, planning the breakup, separation, and the divorce itself. It's a disruption of the system, the family system. But the system still remains even if the people and the members of the system reside in different homes. Post-divorce is single parent custodial, single parent non-custodial. Looking at the table on 269 on a single parent families created by attention, planning, arrival, adjustment, and achievement. Dynamics of single parents formed through divorce. Numerous factors, dissolution of marriages are societal or social, personal, and relationship issues. Resolution of the loss of the marriage, acceptance of new roles and responsibilities, renegotiation, redefinement of relationships with family and friends, establishment of a satisfactory arrangement with one's ex-spouse to positively co-parent the children that resulted from that marriage. Also looking at stepchildren from a blended marriage that may also create issues for them because of the loss of a step-parent to whom they may have been close. Dynamics of single parents formed through death. Even if death is expected, it's still a shock. About 800,000 spouses die annually, leaving behind millions of immediate family members to mourn the loss. It's important survivors of those deaths are able to properly grieve. That is not something we always afford to the children of these relationships. Dynamics of single parents formed through choice. There's a historical factor, there's a stronger acceptance. Now, societal acceptance of women who decide to have children out of wedlock. And the choice factor, the fact that more women are able to support themselves and not suffer financial issues or very strict social ostracism as a basis of their decisions. Single parents, mothers and fathers, families with single parent mothers. Those mothers have to work. That is not terribly different than what children of families with two parents experience. Sometimes there are limited financial assets, sometimes there's insurance or child support, sometimes there is the problem of determining a separate identity, maintaining health and well-being of a household headed by single-parent mothers who are working and then parenting and homekeeping at night. Families of single-parent fathers gaining custody of their children is much more common, soared from 1.3 million to 1.8 million, 3 times the rate of female-headed families. More monetary strength, sometimes needing more help from extended family members for child care. Effects of divorce and death on children. Children of divorce quite frequently wind up in therapy if it's nothing more than an adjustment issue to go through it. Suggestions for helping children through the divorce include having both parents tell the children with an attitude of care and concern, giving advance warning before a parent moves out, ensuring that the child doesn't feel they're being divorced from their parent, explaining to divorced children on terms that they can understand, giving them a space of their own physically and psychologically, not rushing forward into a new relationship, helping them look forward to the visit of the non-custodial parent, to realize and accept the fact that their parents may not or probably will not reconcile. Divorce is not an event that stands alone in childhood or adult experience. It is a continuum, and how children function with that is a factor as an outcome basis of how they're prepared and how they're given the ability to cope. Children who lose a parent by death have 3 distinct stages of bereavement, typically: protest, despair, and attachment. Sometimes hoping for a reunion, a great deal of anxiety, blaming, guilt. The younger the child is, doesn't necessarily diminish the type of grief for a parent they were not able to know. Conversely, the older the child is, the grief is there because they had that parent longer. Strengths and challenges connected with single-parent families, realizing that every family is different and brings a different set of skill sets to the table. Single-parent families as a whole may be more democratic, may be more informal. The children are more independent or interdependent by necessity. Limited resources, may be more flexible with roles and rules, adjustability, adaptability, responsibility. The pace in which children go through the developmental stage may be accelerated, and finding innovative ways to deal with possibly the issue of diminished resources. Some of the challenges are the same thing. The democratic nature may blur the boundaries. Role delineation may be something that has to be overcome if a child is scapegoated or lost or put in the position of a cheerleader or a parentified child. Sometimes academic issues, educational issues suffer. Identity issues suffer if the child feels like they have to become a parent to younger siblings, and poverty issues and the lack of gaining counseling to deal with emotional issues. Approaches for treating single parents: typically the family theory approach, solution-focused, structural, strategic, Bowenian, experiential narrative, and I would add Adlerian with the family atmosphere and dynamics, the childbirth position, the personality priorities is a very good resource for dealing with families. Structural looks at how the boundaries and the alliances are formed. Strategic looks at problems that have immediate need for solving. Solution also looks for answers to the issues. Bowenian looks at family of origin issues. Experiential looks at things, how we symbolize our issues, and narrative allows the families to be able to tell their story. Looking at resources: Parents Without Partners, a national group to help parents deal with some of the stress of being a parent alone, learning communication and problem-solving skills, leading families to community resources, and assisting them with financial solutions and educational methods for dealing with resources. The role of the therapist working with families single parent families want us to lay aside personal prejudices to address those that have the emotional volatility of either divorce or death, and to help them tap inner resources as well as community resources. Junkie, 1993. It's process and outcome over content. Sometimes there's a great deal of confidence and competency, sometimes a great deal less sense of competency. Establishing clear functional boundaries, looking at roles that may be inappropriate, decision making, problem solving. At 282 to 284 are the summary conclusion and the summary table for your investigation. So thank you so much.